and welcome everyone. My name is Karthika Nair and you're watching Synchro Shakti. Today we're looking at a very special topic, but a very painful topic, and that one is called validation. Of course, some amount of validation is somewhat healthy, but today we're talking about the absolute toxic need to prove your worth to people, to prove that you're good enough, to prove that you're worthy. And so I want to help you be empowered in your journey of trying to get validated through my own story of validation. And so today I'm going to share my story through song, but I'm going to explain every piece of that song that I recently wrote on validation, so you will always remember the lesson because you'll always remember the song. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so first I'll play the song and then you listen to this. It's just a few seconds long, and then I'll break down every line and what the story was behind it. So let's start.
When I was a young girl, I just felt alone, like no one liked me. When I grew up, I felt I must prove myself, I'll be somebody. Even when I succeeded, it just felt alone. It wasn't worth it. In my life, I've learned some truths that not good enough is a lie we practiced from the soul of my life.
Okay, so that was the song. So let's pick the first line and let me tell you the story behind it. So,
when I was a young girl, I just felt alone, like no one liked me.
Okay, so when I was a young girl, I just felt alone, like no one liked me. So this goes back to when I was a kid in school. There were three parts of my struggle in school, and this is where a lot of my need to be validated actually came from. So in school, I was really bad academically. I was failing student, and that was quite apparent because kids, if they found out that I was a remedial student, I had to go for special classes to learn and catch up with the rest of the schoolwork that other kids were able to study. I wasn't able to study. But when I told them that, you could see a physical shift in their face. It would become a face of disgust and they would run away from me. That was one part of it. The second part of it was, of course, bullying. So I was that kid who, I don't know if you guys have been through this, but when we used to have hide and seek, when we used to play hide and seek as kids, finally the kids let me play with them, and they finally I felt like they accepted me as part of their group. But what it actually was a prank. So they told me that, we're going to play hide and seek, go hide and we'll come look for you. So I thought, oh my God, I'm finally included in the crowd. I'm finally, I have acceptance. But it was a prank, and nightfall came and I was still hiding, and I was thinking someone is going to come find me, but they didn't. In fact, at some point when I was hiding, I did hear the kids laughing and high-fiving each other. And then when I finally came out, it was nightfall. No one came to look for me, and I saw all the lights on in the houses because it was in an apartment building. The kids were there at home with their families, and I realized, in those kind of experiences that I felt I was not only not good enough, but I wasn't worthy. I wasn't enough of not good enough to have friends and things like that. I was also in school when I was growing up. I was physically bullied, so kicking my stomach, mud put in my mouth, hiding my bag, things like that, so I would miss the school bus. And when I lifted my head up to see, who are the kids who are laughing at me, who are the kids who are hitting me in my stomach, I would see people that I thought were my friends who were also joining into the laughter. So that made me feel even more like, okay, I'm unsafe with people, and I'm not loved, and I'm not good enough. So school, academics, bullying, and these are just like 3-4 incidences of so many incidents of bullying. But that is where my story began, of feeling very alone, like no one liked me. And that's also where my journey of validation, trying to get people to like and approve of me, began. So that's where the story begins. Let's go to the next line. Okay, so it started with When I was a young girl, I just felt alone like no one liked me. When I grew up, I felt I must prove myself, I'll be somebody. When I grew up, I must prove myself that I'll be somebody. So this is where most people are still in their validation journey, is on phase 2, where they're like, I need to show people my value and my worth by achieving. I've got to prove it to people, and if I don't prove my value and worth to people, then I have no value, I have no worth. So for me, what was happening is when I grew up and I was in college, I was trying so hard to win at competitions, contests, and I would never win. To this day, I've never won a singing competition. But the last singing competition I took part in was 15 years ago. But I would see all these other singers and musicians, they would get into the cultural team because they would win so many contests, and they would win best vocalist, best original song, best guitarist, best original composition, and I would lose. I wouldn't win anything. So I started feeling like, okay, I need to now get on MTV, and I need to be a part of the top bands, and I need to do music at a level that people are finally going to respect me, and they're finally going to think that they were wrong for bullying me, that they were wrong for treating me badly, and I have to prove it to them. And I did. I got into some of the best bands. I got kicked out of those bands because my self-worth was completely in the hands of other people. I was getting rejected everywhere, and I even got rejected once. I auditioned for a band which was a cappella, so just voices, and I was better than current singers of a cappella in that band, so they didn't take me, not because I was not good vocally, but because they loved everybody else in the band. They didn't like me, so I got rejected because they didn't like me, not because of my skills, which again kept going back to me as a person. I'm not likable, I'm not good enough, I'm not loved, things like that. So that desire, in fact, I saw a reel quite a while ago which was very powerful, where this lady, she goes to her business coach and says, hey, listen, I want to make $100 million a year, and she's currently making $10 million a year. And so the business coach asks her, hey, why do you feel you need to make $100 million a year? And she says, I want to make $100 million to prove to those who didn't believe in me that I can do it, to show them that they were wrong in disrespecting me. I need to do it to prove it to them. And he says, go on Google and Google up the percentage of people who are earning over 10 million US dollars a year, and look at the percentage and tell me. And that percentage of people who are earning that is so small. She has already made it to the top 1%, and she's still rubbing herself dry, killing herself to prove. She's like, oh, when I get 100 million, I will finally prove to people that I'm good enough. How painful, what a slavery this is. And those people who she wanted to prove herself to are not even thinking about her one day in their lives. And here she is killing herself to prove something to somebody. And someone once told me, and I remember because when I used to not win a singing competition, or I used to go on stage and I performed, in my opinion, badly, okay, because I think artists generally are so overcritical of themselves that it's like, oh my god, you completely ruined your performance. And I would say, but how, if I don't perform brilliantly, how will I prove myself to people that I'm good enough? And my friend told me, he brought me back from the show and I was just crying all over the place. This was again some 10-15 years ago. And he's like, proving something proves nothing. But my whole identity was driven by other people's opinions of me. So I had to make sure that I was a certain way in order for me to feel safe to exist, because their opinions gave me safety. Anyone can relate to this, just I can relate in the chat. So that's where my desire to prove myself came up, to really, really prove myself. Let's go to the next part of the song. So, when I was a young girl, I just felt alone like no one liked me. When I grew up, I felt I must prove myself, I'll be somebody. Even when I succeeded, it just felt alone, it wasn't worth it. So this is the realization many people will have at some point in their lives. So even when I succeeded, it felt alone, it wasn't worth it. So what this part basically means is, I did succeed with many, many, many goals of mine. I've manifested insane number of things. Did that at a very young age, financially free, awards, all kinds of things. And I remember this one experience when I got this very, very powerful award. And I really worked hard to achieve that number, to get that award. And I started telling people when I achieved it, when I shared the news with people, those people who genuinely love me and who are, part of my inner circle, they were absolutely happy for me. And that lasted 5 minutes. Everyone congratulated, whatever, we opened the award, everything. And after that, everyone goes back to their own lives. And then I sat there thinking, and when I sent out the message to people who may care, may not care of whatever my achievements are, some people saw it, some people responded. It was like, who did I do all of this for? This whole time I thought, okay, if I have XYZ things, I'm going to get XYZ amount of validation from people. But at that 5 seconds, 5 minutes, they might say something, you might see some congratulations, and it's over. So then I said, who did I do this for? If I did it just for myself, I shouldn't really care about what people have to say. But I didn't do it for myself. If I chose for myself, I'm pretty happy doing whatever I'm doing. But I did it because I thought that's what's going to get people to love and respect me. And it lasts 5 seconds and everyone goes back to their lives. So then I realized, hey, that whatever validation, whatever achievements, and I get thousands of beautiful, loving messages every day. But none of that filled anything from inside. It was still like an empty, like when we are not self-validated, even after everybody is complimenting you, you don't feel anything. You still keep focusing on your faults. You still focus on where you're failing. You're still in some sort of negative trip because you yourself are not validating yourself. So it's like a hole on the inside. Whatever people give, it's just falling through. You're not filled at all. So, and this beautiful saying by, these are phases of evolution, where Jim Carrey says this thing. He's like, I wish everybody achieved their goals and dreams only to realize it's not the answer. It's not the answer that gives you happiness and freedom. That was already there. That's an inside game. But we'll go to that in the next part of the song. So let's go here. You innocent city just felt alone. It wasn't worth it. In my life I've learned some truths and not good enough is a lie we practice. So in my life I've learned some truths that not good enough is a lie we practiced. Really. Because of certain failures that we hyper-focus on, or because of certain people who rejected us, we hyper-focus on it. We build, because we see ourselves by the reflection of how other people treated us, we think we are basically crap. Right? That's what we think. But if you took out just 10 days, 20 days of your life to start writing out and appreciating all the beauty that you have, all the things you have done, even if it's simple like I love watching nature, I love the sounds of birds, I make my bed every day, I help people, I try to support people as much as I can, I have this creative idea about something, or I seek help for myself so I can grow into a better person. Whatever it is that you can acknowledge about yourself, even if you have 5-10 things, although there are infinite, you will only get to that point in the next part of the song. Even if it's 5-10 things that you can genuinely see are beautiful about you, and if you just mute out everybody else's opinions of you and you just focus on what is beautiful about you, you will see your soul is so beautiful. Such a wonderful soul you are. Yes, you made mistakes. Yes, you had to learn through things. That's not a fault in who you are. That's just growing stuff. We are all learning and growing. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means that you're in the school of life. But putting your lessons aside, putting your mistakes aside, putting others' opinions of your side, if you saw yourself from the eyes of love, you are gorgeous, shining, beautiful, brilliant, magical being. And I wish all of you can see that for yourself. And that is what I did. I went on this journey of just really looking at myself from fresh eyes, taking all of the achievements aside, putting everything aside as a human being. From my voice, to my face, to my mind, to my heart, to my soul, to the things I like, to the things I do, to the person that I am, fell in love. I fell in love with somebody so absolutely gorgeous. I have a crush on myself, basically. This is a depth. This is not an ego boosting thing. It's not that I'm better than everybody else or you're better than this is to recognize the beauty that you were born with, your spirit, and you'll recognize the beauty in others as well, which is where so much of healing happens in your relationships. But that is the journey I went on, and I realized this lie, I'm not good enough, was a lie, an absolute lie that we've practiced so many times in our lives that we began to believe it. But it's not true at all. If you start seeing your truth, you will see it's not true at all. You're absolutely good enough. So let's go to the next part of the song.
Found my soul in my light. Oh, beautiful and so bright. And the universe had told me you're alive, so you are worthy.
Okay, so I saw my soul in my light. I saw my soul in my light. So I saw my soul in my light. This is the part of the journey where after achieving all of that and still not feeling fulfilled, I spent some space going inside. Inner child healing was a part of this. So I would show my inner child, the one who was rejected in 100 billion ways, kept showing her beauty, her light, her successes, her capabilities, how beautiful she was. Self-loved, really was so patient with myself and my learning and my growth, and really restructuring who was I living for, what am I living for, and understanding it. You're living for yourself. You're living for the joy of your life, not so much to make everyone else kind of like you or happy or whatever. So when I started seeing that beauty and that brilliance, that beautiful soul, a human being inside, which is inside you also, when I saw that light was so beautiful, so brilliant, I told you I fell very in love with, in love with this person. And then the universe, it told me that since you're alive, you're worthy. So this is kind of interesting part of my journey is I was talking to, so you know how you have Abraham Hicks, who's these energies channeled by Esther Hicks. Like that you have Seth, with this one entity channeled by Jane Roberts. So you have Bashar, who's this, again, Bashar is also a collective or like one entity that's channeled through Daryl and Anka. Like that, there is these non-physical entities, believe it or not. It's hard even for me to believe it, called Aashrith, and they channel themselves through one of my friends, Arpita. So I, go and talk to them about questions or blind spots that I have that I'm looking to gain answers on. And we were talking about worthiness, and worthiness comes up a lot, even with, when we are in class and I bring them to our classes and then they channel answers. A lot of people are asking about the topic of worthiness and validation and things like that. And they always say the same thing. They say, you as a soul decided to come on this planet to create, to experience the best of life, to manifest all the magic you can. And because you chose life to come here on this planet, you are already worthy. That's why you came on this planet. It's a playing field. It's a place where you get to create. I'm creating a video right now. You are creating thoughts in your head right now. You're creating emotions in your body right now. We are creators. And we came here to create. So the fact that we have all this power and we chose to be alive, that itself is the indicator that we are worthy of whatever we desire. And another thing they used to tell me a lot is, you are an absolute unique masterpiece. There's no one like you and has ever been on this planet before. No one like you will ever be here on this planet ever again in the future. There's only one of you. Not only your fingerprint is unique, your soul is unique. So if you are one of a kind, unique masterpiece, where does validation fall in any of this? It's the same thing for you guys. You are all one of a kind masterpieces, magical creators, but also masterpieces. And no one who can do what you do the way you do, no one who can say your story the way you say it, no one who can, even if, I tell this in class, we have tens of thousands of students in the academy, and even if somebody comes and takes my courses and does the exact same thing that I'm teaching in the exact same way that I'm teaching it, it will never be the same. They will always have their own unique energy interpretation of everything. We're all unique. Even if we copy the same things, we're still unique. So if you're that unique, such a masterpiece that the universe itself is supporting in every form, why do we need people to validate us? It's kind of interesting, right? So this is what Aashrith had shared with me. Now let's go to the next part of that song. So my soul in my life, oh, beautiful and so brave, and the universe had told me you're alive, so you are worthy. You are worthy of your desires. You just are. So, you are worthy of your desires. You just are. So, I teach this in class as well. Don't confuse your skill for worthiness. Skill means you can always become better at your communication, at your craft, at teaching, at selling, at presenting, at driving, at being a good working with technology. You can always improve your language skills, whatever. You can always improve that. But you are always, as you stand right now, absolutely worthy of your desires because you have them. You're worthy of happiness. See, a lot of people have this thing of, I need to prove my worthiness in order for me to be happy. You are right now, as you stand, as you're watching me, worthy of love. Right now, your soul is so beautiful. It's already worthy of love. It's already worthy of life. Living a healthy, happy life, great experiences, great friendships. You're already worthy of love. Already worthy of all of these things, your desires. So, you don't have to prove anything to anyone. So then that begs the question, if I don't have to prove my worthiness, how am I motivated to now do anything in life and achieve any goal in life? Okay, for two reasons. Reason number one, when you're doing anything that you're doing it for two reasons. One is the joy of the craft. We came here to enjoy life. So if we have a craft that we enjoy, maybe you write poetry, or you code, or you're a trader, or whatever, you have joy and passion for that work. You do it for indulging in the play, in that joy of that craft. If you make videos, do it for the joy of making videos. For yourself, okay? That is number one. Number two, we do it for service. Service to help the world, to bring out something that might be of value to somebody else. Whatever you do, even if you're a trader, you're of service. Even if you're an employee, you're servicing your company. You do it for the love of service and the help that it gives people, and the advancement of our planet and our species, and for the evolution of our planet and species. Everything affects everything. You are as much a part of all of the world moving as I am, as is the greatest leaders of this world. We all connect and we all have an impact on earth. So we do it for the joy of the craft and for the joy of service. But what about desires then? So at this point, a lot of our ego desires, because that was completely driven by validation, will stop. You will not desire those things. So then you'll think, now what do I do with my life? This is a great place, because now your heart's desires, your soul's desires of expansion and creating beautiful things and enjoying life and helping people and doing amazing things in this world, that will finally come up when it's not so occupied in trying to validate. So you can take the same desires, even if it was a desire of money, or it was a desire for success as a movie producer or whatever, you can take the same desires, and instead of taking the angle of, I'm doing it so everyone respects and loves me, okay, because everyone's just a mirror reflection of your own self-concept. So if you love and respect yourself, you'll anyways get a lot of love and respect from people. But you can take the same desire and take a different angle. What are other loving, healthy, joyful reasons why I want to be the greatest movie producer, or a great trader, or a great horse rider, whatever you do, or a great mom? Even if you don't do anything, being a mom is a huge thing. Great mom, or a great wife, or whatever you do, what's the loving reason why I want to do that? And then find those reasons to move along, then the painful reasons of I have to prove myself to somebody. Because proving yourself proves nothing. Because people's opinions are completely weighed by where they are in life, not where you are in life. So keep your energy beautiful about yourself, do your stuff, enjoy your life, and that's it. So with that, I will end it. Okay, 26 minutes. So I will end it. To put my whole, this is a abbreviated version of the story in the song again to remind you. So let's sing the song from the beginning. Okay. So in case anyone wants the chords, just comment below I want the chords, and then I'll tell you what the chords are. So let's sing the whole song to bring the story together. When I was a young girl, I just felt alone, like no one liked me. When I grew up, I felt I must prove myself, I'll be somebody. Even when I succeeded, it just felt alone. It wasn't worth it. In my life, I've learned some truths are not good enough as a lie. We practiced, found my soul in my light. Oh, beautiful and so brave. And the universe had told me, you're alive, so you are worthy. You are worthy of your desires. You just are. You are. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if this was of value, if you learned something from my story, if you got some awareness, awakening from this. Let me know in the comments. If you like this musical way of teaching, let me know that as well. Of course, the songs in the future will have, some of them will have some stories, but most of them will be based on affirmations and things that you can sing along and really just pull your vibrations up. So I love you all. I want you to know how absolutely beautiful, magical, wonderful, gorgeous you are. Your soul is. You are God in human form. I love you. Thank you for watching me up until now, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. I love you and namaste. Look forward to seeing you in another video. I love you and namaste.